Please help me welcome my very good friend to this stage, Erin Elizabeth.
But everything changed on June 19th, 2015. And that was the day that Dr. Jeff Bradstreet was found dead in a river in the southeast United States with a gunshot wound to his chest. And initially, remember we talked about that courage and bravery, I was afraid to write about the story. But there's part of me, maybe it's the Libra, the sign of the scales, the Libra in me, that I was so angered by seeing mainstream news like Washington Post and Forbes magazine writing these articles and say, quack shoots himself in a river, you know, quack who harmed children offs himself. I needed to write the truth. That's really what it came down to, and to get the truth out there, the truth about the people that he had helped and the children and the elderly and so many patients now that we've met. If we just start from just last summer, 2015, this is how many we have who have passed now. So I'd like to take a moment just of silence where we just kind of honor these doctors because we had so many losses. This didn't make mainstream, and that was the first thing that I said, there is something wrong with this picture. Literally, we have all these doctors, and mainstream is refusing to cover it. And I will do, whether it's, you know, I did like a Fox radio interview, and people, whether it's left, right, I don't care. I'll do any interview I can just to get the news out there about these doctors, because now I have talked to so many of the families who are hiring their own private investigators, and the private investigators, like the Bradstreets have said publicly, are showing it wasn't an accident. No, this fourth generation Marine in another case, Dr. Marshall, who also had survival training, had served 3 or 4 tours in Afghanistan, he did not fall into a river and not get his way out. It wasn't even a long fall that he supposedly had. They're saying now that it was homicide. So there's a lot of forks for all of us. My fork in the road was quit writing about these. There were people, even a few in the holistic community, who said don't write about it. Even though I'm only writing about the facts, I'm not saying, oh, I think he was murdered, but they said just the fact that you're writing about it, you shouldn't do it. Then there's the fork in the road for the doctors out there, so many who contact me who are afraid, and some have shut down their practices. And this is what it really boils down to, that I don't want the doctors or anyone living in fear. Because I would even have people who are not doctors write me and say, I'm afraid to share this information, I'm afraid for my life. And that's really where Dr. Mercola was an inspiration to me. When I was writing these and I said, you know, I'm gonna stop, and we had more and more high-profile doctors dying, I said, you know what? I have a choice here. Which way am I going to go? And Dr. Mercola was my inspiration, because let me tell you that every time a doctor would die, he said, you've got to cover it. And every time, even though he had to hire security and that there would be strange things happening, or he may be fearful for his life, he turned up the volume. And like, that's what it's all about. If I were to put my health message into 60 seconds, I believe that it would entail, first of all, people taking charge of their own health. And so as they're going through maybe a health challenge, that they aren't afraid to question their doctor or get a second or even a third opinion. But even better yet, for folks who are hopefully not having a huge health crisis, but perhaps they're just on the road to recovery or just staying healthy, that they take preventive measures, and that they will definitely seek out folks online or a holistic doctor in their area, so that they can stay healthy and avoid the bad things we don't want to have in our lives, but also seek out the good things, whether it be supplementation or a healthy diet or exercise. My experience at Truth About Cancer has been remarkable. Not only meeting some of the speakers who I have loved for so long, who I hadn't met before, but just the people who have traveled from different nations to be here, and just that it's just so important to them. And I believe that it will change many lives, and it already is, with not just this event, but the docuseries that have been done and all the people watching live. I cannot believe how many have reached out to me on social media that are watching it live from all around the world as well, and really it's making a difference.
Here at the Truth About Cancer, the live event has been just phenomenal.
So the responsibility falls on each of us to listen to our bodies, to learn what we can, and to apply it in a way that makes sense for us.
Well, no question, this is changing people's lives, and everyone here has been really welcoming and very open to learning. You know, this is about awakening. This is about upping your game of knowledge so that you have the tools to be able to prevent cancer or heal yourself. You know, your body was born to heal itself.
Every time I come to these, I learn something new.
I think like we're all kind of in this together on a global level now.
Because it is knowing the truth that makes you free.